I was just thinking.
No, it happened for a time, but literally X amount of people got excused all in one board meeting. Did you know that?
Really? Oh, yeah. Yeah,
It was in the
happens
paper,
now.
and
Yes.
some of our coworkers confirmed it actually happened. They
Yes.
excused a whole bunch of people at once.
In the meeting. Yeah.
As a result of
That's
meeting,
kinda
or
scary.
during the meeting, yeah.
I work, yes.
Hopefully that never happens to us. Just give me notice and I won't come in. Elvis Presley's daughter died. Did you hear that? You hear that? Elvis Presley's daughter died.
Really?
Yeah, 54.
Died before the father, huh?
Yeah. How old was the father?
Oh,
He was
no.
in his
The
40s.
father's still alive. What are you talking
Elvis
about?
Presley? No, he's not.
Okay, do that.
You ready? All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go ahead and open up open session. This is the meeting of the Board of Directors for West Valley Water District. Today is Thursday, January 12th, and it is 6:35 in the p.m. So with that, we'll go into the we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance and the opening prayer. Director Garcia, would you do the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Sure, thank you. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, and then we have Pastor Bratton from the Greater Faith Grace Bible Church. Pastor Bratton, if you're on the line, if you could unmute yourself.
Yes, I'm on the line. I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Well, again, it's an honor and a privilege to be able to help do the invocation tonight for the Valley Water District.
Thank you.
Our Heavenly Father, I come before you tonight lifting up the board of the West Valley Water District as they start this new year with new goals, new aspirations, new plans, new purposes, new dreams, new desires. I pray tonight, Father, that all those things will come to pass this year and they can see the fruits of all their hard labor, work, and dedication. And yet at the same time, Father, effectively, and they did not see these things coming. So I pray, God, when those things happen, give this board wisdom and strategy how to deal with those effectively and most efficiently, Father. And I pray, God, that as they have to make these sometimes tough decisions, guide them in their thought process. And I pray, Lord, that every person on the board, everything they do, Father, is not for self-ambition, but for the ultimate goals of the entire water district. So, Father, tonight, bless this meeting tonight. May it be profitable and fruitful. I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. All right, thank you, Pastor Bratton.
You're more than welcome.
Okay. And we have our new board secretary with us tonight. Welcome, Ms. Dominguez. We're really pleased to have you here with us. And if you wouldn't mind, the roll call of the board.
Certainly. Thank you, President Young. At this time, I would like to conduct an oral roll call and request that each director respond with present when their name is called. Director Garcia?
Present.
Director Hawkins?
Present.
Director Moore?
Present.
Vice President Jenkins?
Present.
And President Young.
Present.
All directors are present. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Adoption of the agenda.
Motion.
All right. We have a first by Director Hawkins. Do we have
I'll
a second?
second it.
Second by Director Garcia. Any discussion? No? Okay. Go ahead and call the roll.
Thank you. That Director Garcia?
Yes.
Director Harkins?
Yes.
Director Moore?
Yes.
Vice President Jenkins?
Yes.
President Young.
Yes.
And the agenda is adopted. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. All right, we'll go into public participation. You'll read the statement.
Thank you. Yes. Any person wishing to speak to the Board of Directors on matters listed or not listed on the agenda within its jurisdiction is asked to complete a speaker card and submit it to the board secretary if you are attending in person. For anyone joining on Zoom, please wait for the board president's instructions to indicate that you would like to speak. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. Under the State of California Brown Act, the Board of Directors is prohibited from discussing or taking action on any item not listed on the posted agenda. Comments related to noticed public hearings and business matters will be heard during the occurrence of the item. On March 4th, 2020, Governor Newsom declared a state of emergency resulting from the threat of COVID-19. On September 16th, 2021, Governor Newsom signed Assembly Bill number 361 into law. Assembly Bill number 361 amends Government Code Section 54953E by adding provisions for remote teleconferencing participation in meetings by members of the legislative body without the requirements of Government Code Section 54953B3, subject to the existence of certain conditions. The West Valley Water District adopted a resolution determining by majority vote that as a result of the declared state of emergency, the district is adopting the state protocol which allows meetings in person and/or via teleconference. Accordingly, it has been determined that all board and workshop meetings of the West Valley Water District will be held pursuant to Assembly Bill number 361, the Brown Act, and will be conducted via teleconference and in person. Members of the public may listen and provide public comment via telephone by calling the following number and access code, dialing 888-475-4499, access code 840-293-7790, or you may join the meeting via Zoom. Public comment may also be submitted via email to administration@wvwd.org. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Madam Secretary, have we received any public comment via email?
We have received no public comments via the administration email. At this time, we do have a public comment card that was submitted
Okay,
by June Hayes.
of course. Come up, Director Hayes.
Good evening. So nice to see you not in your Brady box. Welcome and Happy New Year. Nice to see the board sitting there. And as you know, I'm your representative from Valley District. And for anybody listening, because I think everybody in the room knows who Valley District is, but for anybody listening who does not know, we're your wholesaler. And when there is water available, we bring water from Northern California down to Southern California to supplement the water that we need here. And I just want to share with you something that we've published recently, and that is part 1 of our strategic plan. What you'll find in this is just the philosophical portions of it, not the capital plans or anything like that. That will be coming out a little later. The other announcement that I'd like to make before my time runs out, I have plenty of time, is during COVID, we went through a new branding opportunity, and it takes an act of Congress to actually change our name. Well, an act of the legislature, which is the same thing. And so our official name, our real name, will remain San Bernardino Valley Municipal Water District. In the past, we were called Muni. Most recently, we have been called Valley. We will now be referring to ourselves as San Bernardino Valley Regional Agency. We expect to do the official branding opening in the beginning of April. Anyone who has not yet signed up, by the way, for the Water Forum that will be done on January 19th at Sierra Lakes Golf Course, I would strongly encourage you to attempt to attend. It's on wastewater and the new opportunities for water. for wastewater. We used to think of wastewater, let's just get rid of it. Now we're seeing the values of this, and it's going to be an exciting program. We've got some really good speakers, so I know some of you work and won't be able to make it. I'm hoping that we'll record it and maybe we can have it available by recording. But other than that, if you have the opportunity to attend, please call Valley District and get signed up to attend. And again, thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, June. Yeah, unfortunately, I had a meeting at the hospital. I couldn't quite get away, but I was trying to figure out a way to get there to be a part of it. But I'm sure it'll be a wonderful event, and hopefully other board members might be able to attend as well. And thank you for the strategic plan. It looks very good. Maybe we can incorporate some of the same ideas for some of ours. Now, are you dropping the water from the new name? Because you said San Bernardino Regional.
San Bernardino Valley Regional.
San Bernardino Valley Regional?
Agency.
Water
Water
agency.
agency,
Okay.
okay.
All right. Water will still be in there. Okay. All right. Well, fantastic. Well, thank you so much, June. Do we have any other speaker cards?
No further speaker cards were submitted.
Okay, and I don't see anyone but John on Zoom anymore. So with that, we'll go ahead and close public participation. Next brings us up to the consent calendar. Does anyone have any items they'd like to pull or a motion to make?
No motion.
I motion to approve the consent calendar.
Okay. All right. So we have a first to adopt the consent calendar. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. A first by Director Garcia and second by Director Hawkins. If there's no further discussion, go ahead and call the roll.
Thank you. Director Garcia,
Yes.
Director Hawkins,
Yes.
Director Moore,
Yes.
Vice President Jenkins,
Yes.
President Young.
Yes.
And that passes 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Well, that takes us to business matters. Item number 14, Mr. General Manager.
Item number 14, I'm very excited about. Some time has passed since the district has last done a comprehensive financial master plan. I think moving forward on something like this would demonstrate the continued fiscal responsibility of our agency. And with the presentation on this will be Mr. Bill Fox.
Thank you. Good evening, President Young and Vice President Jenkins and members of the board. I'm going to just spend a couple minutes talking about the selection process that we went through to come up to a final recommendation. We posted an RFP on November 16th, and we ended up closing it a month later. And we went through what I consider a fairly rigorous process. The RFP was posted on Planet Bids, which is a website, which is a platform that it reaches out to all the different consulting firms that are in the industry. We ended up having 9 consulting firms look at our RFP, and 4 ended up making a submission to us. With the 4 that submitted it to us, they were all very highly qualified, and the 4 firms were Raftellus, RDN Inc., NBS, and NewGen Strategies. We went through a rigorous 5-point process in making an evaluation, and that 5-point process included 1, a technical review of the proposal itself, making sure that they met all the criteria that we asked for in the RFP. That consisted of 40 out of 100 possible points, or 40% of our scoring criteria. The second area was doing a reference check. We asked for 5 different references from each of the consulting firms of the most recent work they had completed. And then each of the members on our committee took a look and was assigned 1 particular rep. With that, we had 6 standard questions that we provided, and then we got feedback on those questions. That resulted in a scoring of a possible total number of 20 points, or 20% of the total possible points. The third step was to do an interview. We interviewed all 4 firms doing a Zoom meeting. Each firm was asked the same standard set of questions, and through that, there was 10 points that was possible through that. The fourth category was the timeline, which was 10%. Our goal is to be able to have our financial plan and rate study implemented by July. at the beginning of our new fiscal year. We wanted to make sure that through their work steps that they would be able to accomplish that objective within the time frame that we've allotted. And the fifth and final area was the proposal price. Price isn't everything, but it is part of it, and that was 20% of the overall evaluation. When we came through, there was 4 of us that were on the scoring team. It was myself, it was our finance director, our purchasing supervisor, and our accountant, who works very closely on the purchasing matters. With that, we had a team that each of us independently evaluated all the areas, and we came up with a total of 400 possible points. When we finished the process, we ended up on a very close group, all of which the firms we felt were qualified and could do the job. But the firm that came out with the best overall ranking was a firm called Raftellus. And Raftellus is one of the major leaders in the industry in doing water rate studies. In fact, they just finished one in San Bernardino for their water district there. We found that they had the best overall price by a very short margin, but they had the most experience in doing this type of work, and so they came up number 1. We recommend that we go ahead and that we go with Raftellus as the selected firm. We had 2 different exceptions to our standard terms and conditions that we've worked through with Raftellus. One was on the care and custody of the work. We had a couple small language changes, and the second item I should is on indemnity. And we've gone through and worked through our indemnity with our attorney and their attorneys, and we've been able to come to agreed upon language. So everything's to the point where we feel that we can sign an agreement with them and get them started later this month or the first part of next month. We anticipate going through this process as a first step is kind of laying out different options for you as board members to see some of the different types of strategies, different opportunities. If there's opportunities to look at water budgeting, and we might want to do that, we'll take a look at different tier options. If there's programs that we could help our various segments of our population, we want to be able to incorporate that too. So I think we need a good, what I call planning session, work session, to vet out what the board's desires are before we go out and develop a structure. So I look forward to doing that, and I think we'll get on that as soon as we get the contract signed and work a scheduled date for everybody as a workshop session. So with that, I'd like to move for approval, or does anyone have any questions?
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Fox? No?
I make a motion to accept staff's recommendation.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a first and we have a second. Any discussion?
President.
Seeing no discussion?
Actually, discussion.
Go ahead.
What is the timeline of when we're going to start the study?
We're trying to get the study started at the early part of February. That's our beginning hope, and then we would conclude it in July, or where we go through the Prop 218 process would be completed towards the end of June, so we can implement in July. So we have a backup session of going back 45 days because, the 218 process is a 45-day process. So we have various stops along the way, which would also include we would be having public sessions where we would meet with the public to explain the different process as well as the hearing. There's a whole bunch of steps, and when we go through that first work session, we'll step through each one of those so that you have a good idea of the time frame we'll be working with.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Go ahead and call the roll.
Thank you. Just to clarify, that was a motion by Director Hawkins, a second by Director Moore?
Yes.
Thank
correct.
you. I'll take a roll call vote. Director Garcia?
Yes.
Director Hawkins?
Yes.
Director Moore?
Yes.
Vice President Jenkins?
Yes.
And President Young?
Yes.
That passes 5-0. Thank you.
Okay. Next up, we have business matter number 15.
Yeah, this item is in regard to board committee assignments. It's only here in case the board wants to consider new assignments, or perhaps you want to keep them as is. I think Mr. Stevenson is going to pull up on the screen to let you know what the current assignments are, and from there, Mr. President, I'll let you take it from there, of course.
All right. Well, we were all here not that long ago. I think back in maybe October or so. So normally we would do this at the start of a new term and, you know, potentially new people on the board. But since we're all still here, I'm not sure if anyone has any changes which they would like. Maybe if anyone wants off a committee, or is there a committee maybe someone would like to maybe see if they can get a seat on. But this is our current setup. And really just we just kind of wanted to still give the opportunity to see if you all wanted to make any changes. So anybody have any changes, or is everybody good with what's here on the screen? Good?
I'm good.
Okay. All right. So on Schedule B, it looks like we're okay. We want to go to the next page. So then this is the Schedule C. I think that typically the president does the Aqua JPIA. So unless you have a burning desire, Channing, we can probably change that.
I'm good with it.
Yeah. Okay. Director Garcia and myself are on the MAC. Are you still wanting to be on the MAC? That
I would prefer somebody else as an alternative.
okay.
If there is someone with interest. If not, I will stay.
Well, I know Director Jenkins, you have the next piece of Bloomington and have been to the meetings before. Would you like to be the alternate?
I'll take the MAC.
Okay. All right, we can make that change. And then Vice President Jenkins, you're our primary to, and I'm going to get the name, the Valley Regional Water Board, or agency, I'm sorry. It's going to take me a while to get used to it. Oh, see, there we go. We can just make it right here. So are you still wanting to do that, Dan, or?
That'll be fine.
And then Channing, you're listed as the alternate. Is that still okay with you?
Excellent.
Okay. All right. And then I'm the primary for the Groundwater Council. And then Director Moore, you're the alternate. Are you still good with that? Okay. Yeah, I'll still continue on that, although we haven't met in a few months. But yeah. So, okay. And then is that the last page, I think? Yeah. Okay. All right. So just a couple minor changes, but for the most part, most everything the same. All right. Now, do we need to take action on that, or is direction sufficient?
We have to.
You can do an acceptance of the resolution noting the changes that we're doing now to ACWA, MAC, and San Bernardino Regional Water Agency.
Okay, can someone make a motion?
Okay, I make a motion to accept the resolution with the noted changes. Yeah.
Okay, do we have a second? Second. Okay, we have a second by Director Moore.
Thank you. I will take a roll call vote. Director Garcia?
Yes.
Director Hawkins?
Yes.
Director Moore?
Yes.
Vice President Jenkins?
Yes.
And President Young?
Yes.
And that passes 5-0. Thank you.
Okay, that gets us to reports. Board members, anybody have, before that, I did want to bring up just a couple items because I know one came up previously. So as you know, we have this meeting, which is technically a special meeting because we rescheduled because of the way the calendar fell and giving staff enough time to prepare. But we do have a couple potential calendar things we might need to move a meeting or two. The first one that I want to point out is that our first meeting in March falls during the week of the Aqua Conference in DC. I'm not sure who all's planning on going to DC, but that's probably a meeting that we'll need to reschedule if everybody's okay with that. And then also, Director Garcia brought up that the State of the City event is which date? The
February 16th.
February 16th. So that falls on the same night as one of our board meetings. Is that, so I kind of wanted to throw it out just for direction for staff. Is that a meeting which we would also like to maybe reschedule so that people could attend that? Any general thoughts on that?
I'm open to changing it. As maybe we can just discuss another date at a later time.
Wait. What do you, which
I don't know.
specific date were you referring to, Director Garcia?
February 16th. I don't know what day, when to change it to, but I'm open
Well,
to.
If possible, could we solidify, if we do change the date, can we solidify like the following Thursday or
Yeah, but what we
the
can
Wednesday
do
prior
is
or
that
something?
we can have staff put this, or do we have time to put it on the next one? Probably not, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We have time to bring it to February 2nd's board meeting.
Do we? Okay. So yeah, we would either move it to the 9th or possibly the 23rd, but
Okay.
depending
Our
on
calendars.
people's availability.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But we can give direction to staff to actually agendize that if that's something everybody wants to discuss.
Okay, but staff, you're looking at the 9th for the 23rd.
Yes, I
Generally-
would think so.
generally
unless-
speaking.
Depending on what direction you'd like to give me as a board this
Okay.
evening.
That's fine.
All right. Well then, let's go ahead and look at adding that then, man. Okay. All right.
We
so
did
the
discuss March.
well, I just mentioned that we're probably going to
Okay.
definitely have to reschedule that
March,
one.
Yeah.
Okay. So board reports. Does anyone have any reports?
I have a report.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So today a while back, we were invited to the Chamber of Commerce for Fontana, and the theme was for West Valley to present a presentation on our district, and Van Ju, as an assistant GM, presented, and he did a great job. Thank you for representing the district in such a great manner. Your presentation was very clear, and everybody was really into it. So thank you for representing us here at the district.
Kind words, thank you.
Any reports?
Yes, I do want to give two reports. One, I wanted to say Martin Luther King Day is coming up this weekend. Want to give everyone a quote from him. It's one of my favorites. One of the quotes he made during the Nobel Peace Prize acceptance speech in Oslo, Norway in 1964. I believe that the unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word in reality. That is why temporarily defeated is stronger than evil triumphant. I think that it sets a mark for all of us, that to hold on to our convictions, to hold on to the principle of love, particularly agape love. There's a lot of contention and fighting going on in our world, and particularly our country and in Washington, D.C. But I do believe that the love we have for one another, and that God has a plan for all of us, and that it will triumph. And so with that being said, everyone make sure that you take a moment to honor the legacy of Dr. King. And then secondarily, there is a looming birthday of someone who's a little less, has a little less notoriety than Dr. King. My birthday is tomorrow. So, and so I just want to wish everybody a happy January. That's it.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, Channing. Yeah, my sister's birthday was yesterday, so a lot of good Capricorn birthdays here in January. You have
In that case, I have to say my birthday was 2 days ago.
Man,
You
all
see
the-
why Dan is so
January.
smart, right?
Why you're so handsome.
All right, guys, stop it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So just real quick, as you know, Director Vice President Jenkins and myself met with Van as the executive committee, and we have started to kind of look preliminarily at the DC trip. So if you are considering attending, please let staff know. You know, we definitely want to have as many of you who can attend. Obviously, it's not required, but certainly we would love to have you join us. I plan to be there for the whole week, and I believe you as well.
Yes.
But yeah, so just for scheduling, and then obviously to make the arrangements. But we are looking forward to hopefully a very productive set of meetings and talking to our new representatives. We now have Pete Aguilar took over a good chunk of what was part of Torres's district, but we're still going to go see her because she was very, very good to us. But looking forward to it. So just wanted to mention that to the board to just let us know if you are planning on attending. So with that, all right, we'll go to General Manager.
I do have a brief general manager report, about 3 slides. If you recall back on December 22nd, we got official notice that we secured the very, very low interest loan for Oliver P. Romer treatment plant project. I think I made the claim that we saved millions of dollars. We actually calculated how much we saved. We saved $2 million by securing that low interest loan, because what happens on January 1st, the new calendar year, the loan rate jumped up to 2.1%. The change of 1% from 1.1 to 2.1 you wouldn't think would be much, but given the amount of our loan and the loan duration, we saved $8.2 million of interest payments over the course of the loan. Much of staff may are sitting here hustled and sweated and were nervous, but thanks for all the hard work of staff and working with the state and our consultants, we did save, again, the customers $8.2 million. But that's not the full picture. The full picture is on slide 2. We actually saved, depending on how you look at it, we saved the customers closer to $29 million, quite frankly.
Wow.
Because if we didn't get any low interest loan, we would have to go to market. We estimate, staff estimates the market rate right now for a loan with our bond rating is about 4.4%. Difference between 4.4% and 1.1% over the course of the loan, over the duration of the loan, and the amount of the loan. We did, in fact, save our customers almost $30 million. It's not money to sneeze at. So I think we'll perhaps enjoy a Del Taco party in the near future, as I told Jose.
About tomorrow, no.
I do want to give a little bit of a shout out to the staff that's worked so hard on it. A number of staff worked hard on it. I especially want to recognize Linda, Jose, and our consultant Carollo. They literally worked over a year on this. They had weekly meetings, gathering information, making sure we cross our T's, dot our I's, and then once we had the information submitted to say, have you ever applied for any loan or grant with a government agency? There's a ton of tedious paperwork, and for a loan of our amount, there's a ton of paperwork. So, wow, a yeoman's job by Linda, Jose, and Carollo for over a year. Towards the end of 2022, to make sure we made the deadline to get the 22 rate, it's right in the 23 rate. Bill, Stradling Law, and Socorro also piled in or assisted. So, hats off to staff. And it's not to say other staff didn't help, but these are the primary staff members. Just want a small call out to them. My last slide in our GM report, I believe the water conservation calendar should be on your dais. If it's not, we'll get them to you. But they're wonderful calendars. They're beautiful calendars. You remember meeting the students who really put those calendars together for us, so we can celebrate that as we in the new year here in 2023. Now, the last item I want to let you guys know about, and in fact, Mr. Fox will take this. We just come to some knowledge about a program called At Home. It's a program that could potentially assist some of our customers. It's a county program. If Bill, if you could say just a brief few words about it, that'd be great.
No more than 10 minutes, right? Thank you, Van, for that. I put a flyer on everybody's desk up front, so you probably have a chance to take a look at it. What happened to us this week on Monday was something a little bit unusual. We received a voucher from San Bernardino County for $4,700, and it was from one of our customers that was on a payment plan and happened to be an elderly person that was having difficulties. Our customer services supervisor contacted the county to find out a little bit more about the voucher and the program and how it works. And through that process, we actually had the county come out and they dropped off these flyers for us and to help us understand how the program works for our customers that are in need like this. And so we've now incorporated it with our customer service staff as we hear people that are coming in for adjustments or any type of special needs or payment plans. We have another source to send them to get funding. We feel this is a really valuable program. We've incorporated it as part of our operating procedures. We're posting it on our website. And then more importantly, we're also doing another thing, and that's reaching out and trying to see if there's other opportunities above and beyond what we now do to help our customers. And so I really feel proud of the customer service supervisor and the people that work in this area, because they're trying to help those that are in need. So we wanted to share that with you tonight.
One very, very last thing on the GM report. Of course, you know Elvia just joined us recently, but also we have another new employee in the audience. Elva is sitting in the corner. She didn't say I couldn't recognize her, but she's our new payroll specialist. And she's joining us on her own time just to meet the board. So welcome to Elva and Elvia. That concludes my report, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, Van. That's fantastic news. Welcome for our new family members here, and great job to all the people who were had a hand in helping us get across the finish line on that loan. I know it got a little dicey there that week before because we were trying to make it. So I'm pleased to see the continued great work that all of you do, and I take a little jump out on a limb here, but speak for my colleagues in saying that we all greatly appreciate everything you're all doing, and you know this is a tremendous win for the ratepayers here at the district. So just congratulations, great job, and you know wow, it's a big number once you calculate it out. It really is. So thank you very much. All right, General Counsel.
Thank you, President Young. I was not able to save the district $29 million, but congratulations. Happy birthday, Director Hawkins. And with respect to the items listed for closed session on tonight's agenda, no reportable action occurred, and direction.
Okay. And then I did just want to point out that on because the venue got changed, but the upcoming water forum that June is putting on is actually at the Sierra Lakes Country Club and not the Hilton Garden Inn as in the agenda packet. So that, but I believe that also emailed to everybody as well, but just so you're aware, it was still printed as the Hilton Garden Inn. So with that, we'll go ahead and adjourn. We'll see you all next time. Thank you.